You're watching the news on the hour on the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television, ACNNTV. You're welcome. Here are some of the major stories. Imo State welcomes to his homeland his worthy son, the Most Reverend Henry Ndukuba and wife, whom God has lifted to the position of the primate, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, as archbishops, bishops, clerics. Others joined the primate and his family in his post-presentation Thanksgiving in Olu. Global mission leader, social justice and peace advocate, the Reverend Gideon Paramala, charges Christian and Islamic leaders not to be discouraged by government harassment as he slams federal government over attack on Archbishop Kuka. And a chief magistrate court sitting in Abuja grants bail to Sahara Reporters publisher Omoyele Sowore in the sum of 20 million naira, as 4 other activists who were arrested with Sowore on New Year's Eve in Abuja for holding a protest against bad governance were also granted bail in the sum of 1 million naira each. And now to the news in details. The people of Ogberuru in Olu, Imo State, had made welcome to his homeland the worthy son, Most Reverend Henry Ndukuba and wife, whom God has lifted to the position of the primate, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, due to his dogged service to God. The post-presentation Thanksgiving service was held at the St. Peter's Anglican Church, Ogberuru, in Olu, local government area, Olu Diocese in Imo State, attended by the high and mighty in the church and the government. ACNN's Charles Philip Wakolom gives the full details.
Born in this town of Ogberuru in Olu, Imo State, a long time ago, the young Henry later moved on to the north, where he has spent most part of his life as a teacher, evangelist, priest, missioner, bishop and archbishop until he became the primate of all Nigeria Anglican Communion. Little wonder why people came from across Nigeria, especially places where he has touched lives, to celebrate him and with him on this auspicious occasion of reception and Thanksgiving in his hometown.
I must confess that we are very proud.
Delivering the sermon is the Dean, Church of Nigeria, Most Reverend Ali Buba Lamido, who described him as a great evangelist.
And mission than us, the Northerners.
He also mentioned that the primate emerged when the church is in need of upright and decisive leadership.
When we fight against the rightfulness and the complete application of Scripture, you have come at a time when the bishops need more pastoral assistance. You have come at the time when the church needs more unity than ever. You have come at the time when Nigeria needs more unity than ever. A lot of work, Your Grace, in times of difficulty.
The massive crowd who showed up to celebrate this man of God, including bishops and archbishops, reflects the amount of love they've got for him. Other dignitaries were the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, representatives of Imo State's governor, traditional rulers, and a host of others. During the service, a good number of groups, dioceses, individuals showered gifts in support of the primate.
Cash given to us will be given to the ministry of the gospel in the mission fund of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion.
The overwhelmed primate and his wife returned all thanks to God for choosing them in such a time as this, while others who spoke to ACNNTV said he is worth the office and has the total support of the church.
I don't know what God saw in me, but all I can do is to place myself totally at his disposal, that he will do what he wants to do. And we appreciate all who have come from across this country, the government officials, the church leaders and pastors, and all the members of the church.
Realize that it is not by our power, neither our might, but it is the hand of God that have put us where we are today. And he deserves all the thanksgiving, all the adoration and praise.
Not only to just rejoice, but to wish him every blessing from the Lord, to assure him of our support and our loyalty to the Lord.
The duty to serve is a heavy duty, and so the church has decided to rally around him, especially as the community is receiving him today. So the primate needs our support, and that is why you see we, the bishops and the archbishops, we are here in our large numbers.
Our primate is a true man of God, and he has come to give thanks for the work ahead. All we will say is he has started well and he should keep focus, and we promise him our loyalty, trusting God that he will take the church to a higher level.
He's a good man, he is a spirit-filled man, very unassuming, very dynamic, very proactive, extremely humble. So it's really a thing of joy for me to play this role.
You know, without the church, there won't be a society. We need the prayers of the church. We need the support of the church. And you can see what the churches have been able to do in education, in health, in general care of the society. They've been able to do what we, the politicians, couldn't do. And so it becomes critical that we give them all the support, because we're all committed in rebuilding our nation. Our nation needs their support, their prayers and everything, so we need to support them.
Archbishop Henry Ndukuba will be in the office as primate till the year 2030. He has already set the ball rolling to bring about the reign of God in the church and society. Charles Philip Owakolam, ACNNTV News.
We wish the primate well throughout his tenure. And away from that, the Bishop of Ohada Anglican Diocese, the Right Reverend Clement Ekpeye, has admonished Christians to live according to the biblical instructions in order to be blameless and rapturable when Christ comes to take his children home, or when Mr. Death comes knocking. And on that note, Bishop Ekpeye gave this admonition at the funeral service of Sir Vincent Awala, which was held at St. Peter's Church Parish, Ogbo, Ohada, Rivers State, as the cleric described late Sir Awala as a devout Christian of high repute, a committed member of the Anglican Church who devoted his life to the things of God and prayed God to give the family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. The service, officiated by Bishop of Ogoni Diocese, Right Reverend Solomon Berigbara, Bishop of Evo Diocese, Right Reverend Innocent Odu, and their Niger State West counterpart, Right Reverend Okojaja. Other dignitaries from all walks of life included traditional rulers, government top functionaries, political stalwarts, and former state commissioners. Late Sir Vincent Awala was described by his wife, Dame Beatrice Awala, some relatives and friends, as an honest man whose contributions to Ogbo community and River State at large will be greatly missed. As they prayed for the repose of his soul and promised to keep his legacies alive. Late Sir Vincent Awala, a former River State Commissioner for Finance, died at the age of 70 after a brief illness. And on security matters, global mission leader social justice and peace advocate, the Reverend Gideon Paramala has charged Christian and Islamic leaders not to be discouraged by government harassment, asking them to continue to speak the truth to power in the face of what he described as insincerity of government. Paramala, who is also the president and CEO of Gideon Paramala Peace Foundation, insisted that prophetic voices must never be sacrificed at the altar of political expediency. The cleric was responding to the attacks on the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Hassan Matthew Kuka, by the presidency, following the Archbishop's Christmas sermon, which centered on the unprecedented insecurity in the country. He condemned the cruel attack on Kuka by agents of government, pointing out that the real questions for Nigerians remains: should they be battling the COVID-19 pandemic, worried about their personal safety on the roads and the confines of their homes, or be worried about a president and his hangers-on who chose to go after them for wailing over their travails and woes in a country which today is ranked among the most dangerous countries to live in the world, and also the poverty capital of the world. He regretted that instead of listening and appreciating Bishop Kuka and others for having the courage to tell them the truth, the president's spokespersons are crying wolf against Kuka. He lamented that the government needs not respond negatively to what Nigerians say, which they don't agree with, adding that governments do not always have the monopoly of being the only ones who know everything about Nigeria and how to fix it. A chief magistrate's court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to Sahara Reporters publisher Omoyele Sowore in the sum of 20 million naira. 4 other activists who were arrested with Sowore on New Year's Eve in Abuja for holding a protest against bad governance were also granted bail in the sum of 1 million naira each. Sowore and Juwon Sonyolu, Peter Williams, Emmanuel Bulus and Damilare Adenola are standing trial for alleged unlawful assembly, criminal conspiracy, and inciting public disturbance. Chief Magistrate Mabel Shagu Bello, while ruling on the bail application filed, admitted Sowore to bail in the sum of 20 million naira and 2 sureties in like sum. The court also ordered Sowore to remain in Abuja and must physically report to the court registrar every Monday and Friday, pending the hearing and determination of the case against him. The court further ordered that one of his sureties must be a civil servant, not below grade level 12. The court also stated that all defendants must not travel outside Abuja metropolis or outside the country, pending determination of the case. And on fuel subsidy, as an immediate response to the rising price of petrol and by extension, the return of fuel subsidy, the federal government has urged operators in Nigeria's downstream sector of the petroleum industry to shift to auto gas. The call becomes necessary as auto gas is cheaper, about 60% of the current price of petrol, which price could have hit the roofs at about 181 naira 53 kobo per litre. Without government intervention through the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC. The breakdown provided by the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, PPPRA, showed that the landing cost of petrol rose from an average of 143 naira 60 kobo in December to 158 naira 53 kobo per litre on January 7, 2021. But the product is currently being sold at between 160 naira and 165 naira per litre at many filling stations in Lagos and its environs because of the intervention of the NNPC, apparently a major importer of petrol and other petroleum products. However, worried about the continued bearing of the subsidy burden by the NNPC, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, through the National Gas Expansion Program, NGEP, has intensified efforts to achieve a massive shift to auto gas in 2021. And the Workers' Union of the Polytechnic Ibadan has started an indefinite strike to press for the implementation of the new national minimum wage introduced by the federal government. The unions, which comprise of Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Polytechnics and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, announced the industrial strike after a joint congress held on Monday. The academic activities of the institution after the Christmas break was scheduled to resume on 11th January with the start of first semester examinations for the 2019 and 2020 sessions, but was disrupted by the protests by the unions. The SANIP's chairman, the Polytechnic Ibadan, Mr. Biodun Abegunde, told journalists that the unions were forced to embark on industrial action because the matter was beyond the school's management and needs to be addressed urgently. Abegunde had said the unions were demanding the implementation of the new minimum wage and the removal of a consultant in charge of the school finances to give room to financial autonomy for the institution. And still to come, Facebook shuts Ugandan government officials' account ahead of elections. We'll bring you the details of this story and others after the break. Please stay tuned.
My name is Right Reverend John Lee Oyekme, the Bishop of Akoko-Edo Anglican Communion and the Bishop Coordinator of the Youth of our National Church. Viewers, continue to watch ACNN. God bless you.
My people, ACNN is a station to be watched because they give you what many stations cannot offer you. And with their Christian background, they will always help you to draw nearer to God, especially in a time like this. If you are not close to God, then you are in for trouble. So God bless ACNN and the staff. Amen.
Hello, friends out there. My name is Johnson Onoha. I'm the Bishop of the Diocese of Arochukwu and Hafia. I want to thank God for ACNN. They are doing a very wonderful work in the area of mission, in the area of preaching, in the area of encouraging, in the area of education. They are doing a very wonderful work. And I want to encourage you viewers out there to stick to ACNN, and God will bless you.
You're still watching News on the Hour on Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television. Thanks for staying tuned. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at ACNNTV.com or our social media platforms on Facebook.com or YouTube.com/ACNNTV. And to be up to date with our news and other programs, download the VM Africa app from Android and iOS stores. And you can also advertise your goods and services on ACNNTV. And moving on to international news. Internet giant Facebook has shut a slew of accounts belonging to Ugandan government officials accused of seeking to manipulate public debate ahead of elections. The East African nation is holding presidential and parliamentary elections after a tense and bloody campaign, with President Yoweri Museveni, who is 76, facing a stiff challenge from the pop star turned politician Bobby Wine, who is 38. Social media giants have come under increasing scrutiny over the content they allow to spread on their networks. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook blocked U.S. President Donald Trump over incitement to violence after his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol last Wednesday, a move his backers see as an assault on free speech. Museveni's senior press secretary, Don Wayama, who saw both his Facebook and Instagram accounts shut down, accused the company of seeking to influence the election. Museveni's online account is still active, but many government officials and members of the ruling party have seen their pages taken down. including a well-known blogger and Museveni supporter, a prominent doctor and a senior official in the information ministry. The president has long accused foreign organizations and elements of backing Wen in a bid to remove his government. And on U.S. politics, a former U.S. Defense Secretary, William Perry, has called on President-elect Joe Biden to reform the system that gives sole control of the nation's nuclear arsenal to the president, calling it outdated, redundant, and extremely dangerous. The call from William Perry came the same day U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi spoke with the nation's top military leader about ensuring that President Donald Trump will not be able to launch a nuclear attack in his final days in the office. That once in office, Biden should announce that he would share authority to use nuclear weapons with a select group in Congress. Reports said Biden, who takes office January 20th, should also declare that the United States will never start a nuclear war, but will use the bomb only in retaliation. And still on the U.S. politics, U.S. House Nancy Pelosi has stepped up the pressure on Vice President Mike Pence to act in removing Donald Trump from office over his role in last week's storming of Congress, as lawmakers are expected to bring up a resolution asking Mr. Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment declaring the president unfit for office. Pence is set to oppose the idea, as Democrats said if he refuses to remove Trump, they will vote to impeach Mr. Trump, who had urged supporters to march on the Capitol. Meanwhile, the Republican president has been accused by Democrats an increasing number of Republicans over the riot, following a rally in which Mr. Trump repeated unproven allegations of vote fraud, saying 5 people died in the attack, including a Capitol police officer. But Trump has made no public statement since he was banned from several social media platforms, including Twitter. Reports said he is due to leave office on 20th January, when Democrat Biden will be sworn in as president. And on sport, Jose Mourinho is preparing for Tottenham's Premier League clash against Aston Villa to go ahead as scheduled on Wednesday after a significant coronavirus outbreak. Villa used youth players in a 4-1 FA Cup loss to Liverpool. The outbreak has put their hosting of Spurs at risk, but a postponement would create more fixtures chaos for Tottenham. Later, a 5-0 FA Cup win over Marine, and when Mourinho was asked when Tottenham's next game will be, and the Spurs head coach responded Wednesday. A quick reminder of our major stories. Imo State welcomes to his homeland his worthy son, the Most Reverend Henry Ndukuba, and wife, whom God has lifted to the position of the Primate Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, as archbishops, bishops, clerics. Others joined the Primate and his family in his post-presentation Thanksgiving in Alu. Global mission leader, social justice and peace advocate, the Reverend Gideon Paramala, charges Christian and Islamic leaders not to be discouraged by government harassment as he slams federal government over attack on Archbishop Kuka. And a Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Abuja grants bail to Sahara Reporters publisher Omoyele Shawari in the sum of 20 million naira, as 4 other activists who were arrested with Shawari on New Year's Eve in Abuja for holding a protest against bad governance were also granted bail in the sum of 1 million naira each. And that is it on the news on the hour. Thanks for watching. I am Rachel Gibuni.